Have you ever stopped to think about how your favorite app seems to know you personally? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most essential skills in programming, how to make your computer talk by, well, gluing words together. Let's jump right in. So, you've totally seen this before, right? You log into something and bam, it says, "Welcome back, Sarah," or "Hey, David, great to see you." That little personal touch, that's not magic. It's actually a programmer who has taught the computer how to take a simple greeting and mix it with your specific name. Today, we're going to see exactly how they do it.
Really, what this all comes down to is just playing with words. And in the world of programming, any piece of text, whether it's one letter or an entire book, is called a string. So our mission today is to become masters at gluing these strings together to create some really cool and meaningful messages.
And programmers, they've got a fancy word for everything. For this, it's called concatenation. Yeah, it sounds a little intimidating, but all it really means is to link things together. So the next time you hear someone talk about concatenating strings, you'll know they're just talking about gluing text together. Let's check out the classic way of doing this. Okay, so this first technique, we're going to call it the fridge magnet method. It's probably the most intuitive way to think about combining words, and honestly, it works pretty much just like it sounds. Just picture it. You've got those little word magnets on your fridge for Tony and Stark. What do? You just slide them right next to each other to form the name. Well, in Python, the plus sign, the plus sign does the exact same thing. It's the glue that sticks our word magnets together. Let's walk through the code. So we've got our first variable, first_name, which is holding the word Tony. Then we use our plus sign glue. And this is a big but, computers do exactly what you tell them to. If we just added last name right after, we'd get Tony Stark all smushed into one word. That's why we have to explicitly add a space as its own little tiny string in quotes right there in the middle. Then we add our last name variable. And voila, the result is Tony Stark, which is perfect. Now, this method totally works, but you can probably see how all those plus signs and extra quotes for spaces could get, well, pretty messy, especially if you're building a longer sentence. So let's look at a way cleaner, more modern approach. And that brings us to the pro shortcut, F-strings. That F actually stands for formatted, and trust me, these things are an absolute game changer. Not only do they make your code way easier to read, but they're also usually a little bit faster, which is always a nice bonus. Just look at the difference here. It's like night and day, right? The basic way on the left, it works, but you kind of have to mentally piece it together. The pro way on the right, the F string, it looks almost exactly like the final sentence you're trying to make. It's just so much cleaner and easier to understand at a quick glance. And the rules for using them are super simple. First, you just pop a little F right before the opening quotation mark. That's like a signal to Python that says, hey, what's coming next is an F string. Then, wherever you want to drop in a variable, you just put it inside these things. I like to call them curly pockets, these curly braces. Everything else? You just type it out like a normal sentence, spaces and punctuation and all. Let's check out another example to see just how powerful this is. Here, we're combining some text with a name variable and an age variable, which might not even be text, it could be a number. The F string handles it all, no problem. You can literally just read the code and know exactly what it's going to print. No more messy plus signs, no more worrying about converting numbers to strings. It just works. All right, theory time is over. It's time to get your hands dirty and put this new skill to the test with a quick 30-second challenge. This is how you really make the knowledge stick. Okay, here's your mission. You've got two variables, city, which equals Mumbai, and weather, which equals sunny. Your job is to use an F string to print the sentence, "It is sunny in Mumbai." Go ahead and pause the explainer for a second, think it through, maybe even say the code out loud. You got this. And the answer is right here. It's print, followed by F, fun T from CD, it is weather in city. See that? You just write the sentence like you normally would and pop the variables right into their curly pockets, exactly where they belong. If you got that right, give yourself a pat on the back. You've officially got the hang of F strings. So why do we care so much about gluing words together? Well, because this one little skill is basically the bridge from writing code that only a computer understands to creating professional, dynamic messages that real people can actually read and interact with. So let's wrap it up.
The big takeaway here is that you now have two tools in your toolbox. You've got the plus sign, our fridge magnet method, which is the basic way. But now you also have F-strings, the modern pro shortcut that makes your code so much easier to read. This is the skill that lets you build those personalized welcome messages, generate custom reports. It's really the key to making your programs come alive.
So now you have the power. You can take data, you can take text, and you can combine them to make a computer say pretty much anything you can imagine and do it in a really clean, professional way. So that just leaves one question. What are you going to make your computer say first? Hey, if you found this helpful, a like and subscribe would be awesome. Thanks for watching.